Okay, so let's start where we left off from the last lesson. So we know where shapes are. We know how to draw them onto our slide. We know how to change their shape by right-clicking and going to Edit Points. And the last thing, we also learn how to make our own custom shapes using this curved line tool, like the tree trunk here. And we also learn how to change the shape's color by right-clicking, going to Format Shape, and we have the color over here. We learn how to put one color and many colors, the gradient over here. So, effects. So if I click on the shape and go to Shape Format, you can see over here we have Shape Effects. So before I do that, I'm going to copy this a few times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to click on this first shape, and the first effect we have is a shadow. So I can put a shadow behind my shape. I mean, you can't see much over here because the shadow is quite light, but you can see there's a black area behind the shape. So this is a shadow. If I click on the second shape, we have also another effect called a reflection. So reflection means like a little bit like water, or a mirror which is under the shape, which is reflecting it on the opposite side. What other effects do we have? We have glowing, so we can put a kind of like a background color to it. We can also put the glow inside or outside the shape. The same with this shadow too. We can put some soft edges, so we can make the circle look a bit softer around the outside. And the last thing we can do is put some bevels, or to make it look a little bit 3D. So these are lots of different effects. Now, they don't look like much, but we can actually play with these effects in a lot more detail. So I'm going to take the one with the shadow for an example. So let me take this one. Now, if I right click it and go to Format Shape, like we did when we put the color on our shapes, now we know this part is the coloring tab, but if we look next to it, we have the effects. So I'm going to click on effects, and I know this circle has the shadow. So I'm going to click on the shadow part over here. And these are some settings that we can play with. So let's see what happens if I move this one down. You can see the shadow is getting darker. And if I move this to the right, the shadow is getting lighter. So it depends how strong we want this shadow to be. So we can move this one around. Same with the size. We can make this one bigger or smaller. Okay. Blur, we can make this one a bit softer. It depends how we want to use it. And the distance means how far away the shadow is from the shape. So we can have the shadow near the shape, or we can have the shadow far from the shape. Now, it's exactly the same for all of the other effects. If I click on the reflection and I click on reflection over here, we can do the same thing. We can also make the reflection stronger or lighter. We can make it bigger or smaller. And we can also make the reflection further away or closer to the shape. So this is the basics of effects. It doesn't look like much, but we're going to put this into a little bit of practice. So let me just make this smaller over here. So let's take my tree. I'm going to put a shadow effect on this tree. Maybe I'll put it, should we put it right under? Okay, let's put it on this side. So the shadow is in front of us. So that means the sun is going to be over here somewhere on the other side of the tree. So if I take a circle over here, let's draw it. This is going to be my sun over here. First thing I want to do is make it a yellowish color. I don't like this black around, so I'm going to remove this. I can go to Shape Outline and put no outline. So now you can see we just have the sun over here. Okay, well, I think we should put a little blur around the sun and also maybe give it a glowing color. So let's go back to the shape effects. Let's put a glow, and I'm going to choose more colors, and I'm going to select a yellow, or maybe, yeah, maybe a yellow or maybe an orange glow. Okay, let's put a yellow glow, kind of looks nice. Okay, so it's not very strong, but there is a glow over here. And the last thing I want to do is I also want to put some soft edges. I want the circle to kind of look like it's blending very nicely. Okay, this is very nice. So let's go to the effects and see what we can do with this one. So the effects tab is over here. So I put a glow. So let's make the glow a little bit bigger. Oh, okay. Now this is looking a lot nicer. And we can make, okay, let's make the glow a little bit so we can still see the outline of the sun. We can still see the sun circle, and now we've got a big glow behind it. So this is really, really nice. Okay, let's see what we can do with the soft edges. Okay, should we change the size? We can change the size of it, but I'm quite happy with the way it is. Let's see the tree's shadow. What we're gonna do with this shadow. Okay, should we make it a bit, okay, we can make it a bit darker. All right, this is perfect. All right, now there's one problem with my picture. It should not be light on this side and dark on this side, because the light is coming from the other side of the tree. So it should be actually quite dark on this side. So maybe we should change this one. We can put a little bit of light towards the end over here. And then maybe we should put the darker side over here. Aha, wow, this looks a little bit nicer. We can even maybe remove one of these. Okay, so that looks quite nice. I should make this brown a bit darker maybe. Oh yeah, that looks very, very nice. So I'm going to put a slight, very slight brown on the edge over here. And that's actually looking really nice. So this is an example of how you can use effects on your shapes. One more thing I want to teach you before we stop this lesson is the selection pane. So if I go next to shapes up here and click arrange, we can click on selection pane. Now this tells me all of the shapes on my slide. So if I click on this one, you can see I have named this tree. I can do that by clicking 2 times and writing what I want the shape to be. I don't know which one is the sun. So if I click on the sun, it tells me oval 7 is the sun. So I can double click on this and rename it to sun. Now this is very useful when you have many, many shapes on the screen. And what I can do is, right now the sun is in front of oval 3. But if I want to, I can move oval 3 in front of the sun. So this is showing you what is behind other shapes and what is in front. It's also going to help you later when we put many, many different shapes on the slide. So it's a very good habit to rename all of these shapes. So hopefully you've learned something quite useful here. We've learned all of the effects. We've also learned that we can play with these effects to make them very nice by clicking Format Shape and then clicking on the Effects tab. So this was one example of the sun and the tree. Have a play around with it and see what else you can come up with. So enjoy and see you in the next lesson.